Okay, if you like burpees, you are going to love the devil press, all right? It is a burpee plus a snatch. You can use one weight or two. We're gonna start with two. That's the true devil press. But what this looks like is Caitlin is going to put her hands on the weights. She's gonna do a full burpee, getting her chest down between the weights.
Need more space.
There you go. She's gonna bring her feet up just like she would any burpee. She's gonna swing the weights between the legs and then snatch it straight up above her head. So full speed, let's do one more. Burpee, weights, swing, push, pull. Pull, push. Swing, pull, push. There you go. So that's your devil press. It is really important that you choose a weight that does not throw your back out on these, because as you start to lift the weights from the ground, you need to make sure your chest is lifted, you are loaded through the hamstrings, swing through your legs just like a kettlebell swing. As you start to stand, you pull the weight up. You're not swinging it in front of you. You're pulling it up and then driving up to the ceiling. Your whole entire body should be nice and strong. Yes.
These are light enough that I can do it in slow motion, but they shouldn't be.
Right. You need the hip drive, the power of the hip drive, and then the momentum will help get the weight over your head. So it's not a swing. Can you show a swing? It's just not a swing overhead. That's going to be really hard on your back if you try that. Also, let's talk about going back down to the floor. A lot of people will hurt their backs with devil presses because once the weight's here, they just take it to the floor. Yeah, that's your entire low back taking all of the weight down to the floor. So think about taking something heavy off of a shelf. You don't just use your low back to throw it down. What you do is you bring it down gently, and then you tighten the core, and then you set it down. So it's the same exact thing. Once the weights are up, bring it to your shoulders, tighten the core, and then bring it back down to the floor. Okay? I'm gonna do it just one more time.
Yep.
All the way down, tight core, push, yep.
I did it twice.
There you go. Control down. There you go. So that's a devil press with two weights. If you don't have something light enough that will allow you to do that with two weights, maybe you have one heavier weight, or maybe you're ready to advance to something a little bit heavier, grab a heavy weight and you can do alternating arm, single arm devil presses. So Caitlin's just gonna go down, weight in one hand, she's gonna pop up, swing between the legs, and she's gonna perform a snatch, basically. Switching sides, she's gonna pull it through the legs, swing, pull, push. Same control on the way back down, maybe even more so. Tight through the core, and she's controlling the weight. She's not letting the weight pull her down. Nice. Did you see how she popped off the floor a little bit? Gotta use explosive hip drive to get the weight up and to really get the full effect of this workout. If you find yourself lifting the weight up and just pushing it over your head without even having to use hip drive or come off the floor at all, your weight is too light. And please remember, you're not gonna make any changes that you wanna see in yourself if the weight is so light you don't have to do the movement correctly, okay? You're gonna be doing these movements over and over and over, meaning like, why am I not getting stronger? Or why am I not hitting the goals I wanna hit? You gotta break down that muscle tissue, and you do that by using a heavy weight that really forces your body to get into the momentum of the movement and really work hard. So try not to make the movement so easy that you don't get anything out of it. You wanna add to that?
We also recognize that when you're at home, you don't have quite the spectrum of weights that you would at a gym. So while that is true, moving your body and using the weights that you have and the things you have available to you is also.
Yeah, it trumps not moving at all.
Yeah.
So, if you have a weight that's maybe too light and is not allowing you to get the full spectrum of what we want out of the devil press, if you're doing 10, maybe you should do 20, just so it turns into a higher rep movement and it starts to fatigue and it starts to feel tiring and that weight starts to feel a little bit heavier too. So you could always do that too. If your weight's too heavy and you can't do 10, do 5, okay? So make those adjustments as needed for the weights that you have.